Let's crack open some 40s and chill, or something.
what's this music then? I really do pop. It's good music, isn't it? So, yeah, I've been hinting about it. Nope, bloody hell, hang on. We've got to do that. Because I can't have all the music playing. I can only have one thing at a time. Sorry. But yeah, I have been hinting it. Bloody hell, these headphones are really loud tonight for some reason. What? That can't be only at 18. It must be boosted like hell somewhere. Anyway. There we go, we are. Don't know what's going on with the headphones, but Matt, hello!
57 months. So much variety of content. Thanks again, Ash. Bring on QNL2.
Yes, indeed! Bring on QNL2! That's what this music is here to indicate. I have been talking about it in murmurs over the past couple of months or so. Tonight, I can officially confirm it now. The venue has been put in place. We even have some dealings with a nearby hotel as well. So don't go hunting for hotels just yet, is all I'll say. We'll give you more information about that come closer to the time. But what we can do is tell you when it's going to be. And it's going to be... No, not GNL2, Topper. Very different. But it will be... on my birthday! Yes, the 30th of November and the 1st of December is when QNL2 is due to happen. 30th of November, 1st of December, get it in your calendars. Better yet, sign up for the wait list, is what I'll say. Go to that link and get yourself on the wait list for when the tickets do arrive. So, kind of the launch of Christmas, I suppose it will be, Sunny Cat. But we won't be doing any Christmas shenanigans there, I don't think, because there'll just be so much to do. But yes, if you go to that website there, you can sign up on the wait list, so you get the first... Actually, you're not the first to sign up, Topper. I was when I tested it. But you can be second. But what you can do is sign up, and then you'll get alerted as soon as the tickets go live proper. We haven't said what the ticket price is going to be just yet. We will fully announce that very soon. And there will be a difference depending on if you're attending for just one day or for the entire week, weekend even. Oh god, not the entire week, the entire weekend. Price equals 10,000 doots. We'll talk about more about the actual ticket price at the in a couple of hopefully in a week or two, I will say. We're still sorting out legalese, essentially, all the necessary terms and conditions and waivers and privacy policies and things like that. But we now have enough to say we have a venue sorted, we have a nearby hotel offering a contract for me to sign, essentially. And yeah, it will be happening in Sheffield. We can tell you that for certain. Where exactly in Sheffield, can't say right now. When you do get a ticket, when you will purchase a ticket eventually, it will tell you all of the details of what you need to know for attending QNL2 on that. Any additional information that we'll have in a sort of data pack, which we didn't have last time, but we realised we kind of needed to do that for anyone visiting and never been to Sheffield before or anything like that. It's like, people aren't really going to know that much. And yes, it will be over Thanksgiving over in America land, so will be a bit of a difficult job, I suspect, for some, if they wanted to come over from the States, but I don't expect anyone to come from the States. Having people come over from the States last time was was as big enough as a shock as any for me for QNL 1. So there's definitely no expectation to jump across the pond. But if you can, that would be amazing to see you here in the UK to come into QNL 2. But yes, it is planned for the 30th of November, 1st December 2024. Put it in your calendar. Get yourself on the wait list. How many of you are on the wait list right now? Oh, wow. We already have 14 on the wait list. Okay. Already have 14 on the wait list. And that's just the first wave of interest right now. Currently watching a dev stream of all things. I will post further information on the Discord. We're probably within that everyone, in fact. We'll get yourself signed up for that, and then you'll get the first bit of knowledge when we do make the tickets go live. It's happening! Oh my god, it's happening. We did actually look at Rebel Lane Study Cat. We also looked at, the Crucible. We also looked at Sheffield Wednesday's catering and things like that, conference rooms. But they either had no availability at the time or it just didn't quite fit what we wanted. What we found is, I think, probably the perfect venue for it. Again, I'm not going to mention any more about that, otherwise people are just going to keep spamming guesses to narrow down the possible search parameters. But it is certainly in Sheffield, I can say that, and that is all I'm going to say on that front. We had 40 signed up, plus I think a couple of plus ones on top of that, so I think it was like 42 to 44 that actually turned up last time, Fluid Fernando, which was a lot of people for the first kind of thing, first kind of run of Q&L. That was a lot of people. So yeah, 40 people turned up for that, and it was a phenomenal weekend, but very fraught. Very stressful getting everything done and dusted in that Saturday and Sunday is just ridiculous. If you can come along, it would be great to see you, and also a great opportunity for you to meet up with other community members, or sort of adjacent community members, that kind of thing, and have a bit of a chin wag. Enjoy yourself in Sheffield, and have some quiz and game show alongside it. There's a lot of fun to be had in Sheffield with all that. So that was the big announcement. If you're not interested in dev streaming, you can probably go now. That was the big announcement. I've not got anything else up my sleeves right now. But yeah, tonight's stream was going to be 1000 Heartbeats, but we're going to be doing some dev stream stuff instead. For two reasons. One was, well, the last stream was just a lot of quiz, plus also Ben's 400th episode was also a lot of quiz, and we need to just chill out for once. And also, second, I don't think we're entirely confident we have enough questions to be able to run 1000 Heartbeats tonight, because we are still having some gaps in the pack there. So we're just gonna relax a little tonight, have a bit of dev streaming instead, and show some behind the scenes stuff on 5 Minutes to a Fortune, because that is a thing that not many people have actually seen. Well, I mean, people haven't really seen much of any of the behind the scenes of any of my games. So if you've ever been interested in how I do things, or you're just interested in how the development process works, then you're more than welcome to stick on around tonight's stream. We are going very lo-fi tonight, apparently, on the music front. So you're more than welcome to kick your feet up, as it were, and ask whatever questions you feel you want to ask as well. If you've never seen 5 Minutes of Fortune or anything like that, then feel free to ask away in chat. I'm going to try and do some work on, well, this one, the passport one, which is going to be a very interesting and difficult one to actually work out how to do, because the stamps, the structure of the stamps is what really irks me about this. And I'll go into more detail about that as we go through it, because there's a lot of complication. But yeah, this is 5 Minutes of Fortune, sort of how I've been working on things. And yeah, QNL is certainly a great experience. If you've never been, if you didn't go to QNL 1, there'll be a lot of people that will sing the praises of it. Definitely worth going. I'm not the best person to say that, because my experience was also taken with having to run it. That was a lot of stress. Certainly a lot more stress than I was anticipating going into that. This is why we're planning so far ahead this time round. We were looking up of things all the way back in January this year. Just to put things into perspective, we were looking into things in January of this year. I'm going to score. I'm definitely going to do less this time so I can actually enjoy QNL a bit more. But it's also the problem of, it's my baby, I don't want it being ruined. So I have all of the hands everywhere and micromanage everything. No, I need to sit back and let it cook on its own, essentially. Anyone setting up a sweepstake for what's a container of Poor Judgment number 2? Oh man, I have no idea, Oni, but make it nice. Make it nice. Werther's in something might be nice. I know. I think you mentioned about Werther's originals in like a rum or something like that, and that does sound very nice. Yes, you had the high tune vodka mix in Container of Judgment number 1. Yeah, we'll see what hopefully edible concoction you come up with. Oh, Werther's in rum. Yeah, that does sound nice. That does sound nice. Right, I need to start thinking about stamps. So, the problem that I have, and you might notice sort of what the problem is, well, I wanted to try and make these sort of auto-populated. Like, these are actually in Unity. They've not been done in Photoshop, whatever. The asset pack I got from Mike Dexbach, thank you again for the wonderful assets for the music and things like that. When they ran the passport minigame, they had only a limited number of stamps pre-rendered out in Photoshop already in place where they're going to go on the passport document. So that it's not really how I want this to run for the Unity side of things. I kind of want it to be generated in real time. But the problem is I need to have enough variety in the shapes so that you don't get the same stamp style every time. But it also needs to be able to handle single line responses, like here, Heathrow, single line, or multi-line responses if it has like a 2-word name for the airport, or has a name and another subtitle.
Having a rough time of things today, but it's things like this community that remind me it isn't all bad.
It absolutely isn't all bad, JB. Thank you for the 34 months, and I hope you are doing well today. We're just chilling here tonight. You're more than welcome to just chill around in chat and have a bit of a chat. Do whatever you need to, and big hugs to you, mate. Big hugs to you, and to a lot of people out there these days, from the sounds of things. It's not a particularly good time for a lot of people. But yeah, big hugs to you, and hope you're doing okay. But yes, the issue is that I want the variety of these, different stamps. There's still one of the style of stamp I'd like to do, which is the more oval, wide one. That would make 5 different variations of design. But it also needs to handle single line or multi-line, and how to be able to determine that as well. And also to make the text fit reasonably, because I could have this stamp like this with the text more like that, but then that looks less like a stamp, because the thing is they kind of like to fit things perfectly in sort of the stamp design. That's why that is that width, so that it can then fit pretty much snugly into that box. And different names, like Doha or something like that. Doha doesn't really work in that unless you make it super wide, in which case I guess it looks all right, but it kind of needs to fit the box it's in a reasonable manner that's still readable. Like Ben Gurion or something like that. Ben Gurion Airport. That would be all right, like that. But the thing is, that has a space, so it thinks on some stamps it might think that needs to be done on 2 lines, like London Heathrow. If I did that like that, it's yeah, it's an interesting thing. Now I could just make it so that each of these variations has different ways of presenting information, so that if it's a short name it does one, if it's a longer name it does another, if it's got a 2-line name then it does another variation. I could do that and design it in such a way, and that might be the way to go. That way then it can go, I want this stamp of this design and it needs to respect this particular way of name. What is the presentation I need for that, and do the thing. I think that's probably what I want. So it allows me then still to have the variety of designs, which is what I want to try and avoid it from happening, is having different designs all the time. Preventing it from having the same design appear multiple times in succession. Yeah, okay. So, based on that then, if I look at stamp B, and I go in a dotted circle, let's create a box for the contents, and we'll go 2-line content, then we chuck all that in there. Now let's make a variation of that. Call it 1-line content. Get rid of the line itself. The location text, do like that. If I do that and then make it wider, then you can get that sort of thing for a single line stamp. And it's the same circular design, but it's designed better for 1 line. I think that's alright. So you can have... Now, you may also notice... that's a thing. You may also notice that the round text is styled specifically for that as well. Frick. Now, that might fit. That might still work. So... Oh, I have to reparent things, though. Hang on, because I need to get the round text in there somehow. Right. Let's chuck that in there and see what it does. -31. Sure, we'll go with that. And then make a copy of that for the 2-liner in there. So then in this one, this would just say, like maybe Heathrow Airport or something like that. Okay. Okay, I'm alright with that for now. Now what I might do then is do another one of these. Lots content, and instead of having it have the dividing line, it can then just be that. So thinking of like you do something like that then for Paris Charles de Gaulle as an airport. I'm just reeling these off as I sort of know names of airports. I know that David has written a pack of questions for this yet, but I've yet to actually drive any of that into this. So this is just coming off of my brain right now, rather than any particular content. Alright, that's too large. Can't go with that. Because it was into... Yeah, just getting too close to the dottedness. There was one I saw that mentioned... Well, it certainly had the word airport in the stamp name. Let me see if I can find it again. Was it in this one that I saw? Or is that just because it's the city name? It was just city name airport rather than the actual airport name. Was that what they did? No, there's one here that says President Perron International Airport and Palma de Mallorca Airport. Now, Palma de Mallorca is just a long place name, but President Perron, that sounds like a name of an actual airport. So maybe they just mixed and matched it a bit. Again, maybe there was one version of it where they did just do cities as if they were just ports rather than airports, and then there was another one that was airports instead. So yeah, they might have just mixed and matched it and done different things, which makes this harder to figure out. You know, some common design structure for. They really went to town with some of these mini games, with the amount of kind of the wide variety. So yeah, I'm basically what I'm doing is giving myself enough outs ahead of time, such that if people come up with stupid text to appear in a stamp, that it can still handle it. So if it can handle small amounts of text or big amounts of text, it should still be plenty readable in whatever stamp design it uses, unless of course you go completely bonkers. Because you could even do things like if you were going with really crazy ideas, if you wanted to do airports, you could use their airport code, do something like that. Or LHR, or you know, something like that, and make that basically make a round out of that, which still does the same thing as you need to name the country it's in, but it's literally just an airport code stamp. At that point, you might as well just make that be baggage codes instead, because that's what they're actually used for. Is for baggage. Anyway, I think this idea of having the various different styles of content to handle one, two, or many should be good to give me the coverage I need. So like that one there, because I could also make like tiny variation differences here as well on these styles. So like all of these have the star and the 2N at the bottom. 2N just random 2-character code I put in, but you could easily just change that star at the top of one of these to be what are the ones have I got here? I could just make it a dot on its own is a bit weird though. 6-pointed star instead, or put that at the bottom, make the code XP or something. You sort of play around with the design per variation, because I'm going to have to do that with this big box, the immigration officer one, because there's only one line of text there at the moment. I'll have to move the date box entirely out of that, and same with this triangle one. I'll have to remove the date bit at the top, remove that entirely so I can fit text in there a bit better. But we'll see how we get with this. Well, I mean, how does this work then? If I were to say, if I had that as just immigration, Paris, Charles de Gaulle, what does that look like? Looks all right. What's it like with the immigration control in there? That's all right. Yeah, if I can type correctly, that will always help. So immigration control, Paris, Charles de Gaulle. That works as a variation as well. Okay. So let's work on that premise then that I need to do like 1-2 lots on each of these stamps. Let's do this triangle one because I think this is going to be the hardest one to sort out. Oslo Central Station. Okay. This is the one-liner. What do they call it? One-line content. Do that. And chuck those in there. Dupe it. Turn that one off. 2-line content. So what we do then is we get rid of the dividing line and the date. And this can be, so if we use London Heathrow as a control for this, fix the line spacing, and is that going to be okay? It could go a bit like, this is the problem. This can go bigger to fit the triangle, but it can't always. If I make the text bigger, it's going to intercept the edge of the triangle more the bigger I go. So what I'm going to do is cheat it. Cheat the design. Or make the design what I want it to do, essentially. And put a dividing line up here instead. 45, 43. Put a dividing line up there or something. In fact, I can make it lower, can't I? Put it about there. That looks alright, doesn't it? $56. So something like that, and then I could put something in that triangle, can't I? Something like, let's take the star. So I should probably get some other graphic-y things in here as well. Ooh, hello. Copy, paste. You do that, make it a bit smaller still, I suppose. Like that. So the ink pad effect is a shader I've put in. I do need to apply it to some of the text, but not all. Namely, sort of the decoration text that's not necessary to read. I do need to apply it to that. But the actual critical text, I'm not going to inkify, dull inkify effect, just so that it's as clear as it possibly could be on stream. But yeah, it is an effect I've written in a shader. It's actually, what it does is it has a noise texture or grunge texture that dictates how much of the color comes through at any given pixel on the screen. That it's done world space. So if you see, when I move this, move this guy around, move the actual stamp down, you can see the actual noise it uses is, so it sort of travels with it. Well, as you go down, you see the noise pattern behind it or in front of it. It's weird because it sort of multiplies into it. Sort of travels along it, so you get a different sort of noise pattern depending on where you are on the page. So the overall effect is that the sort of the noisiness or grunginess is therefore sort of randomized, so long as you keep putting the stamps in random positions. So it's a little bit of a hack, because you'll never see the stamp actually animate. They'll just go down and stay exactly where it is. And if I randomize those positions, then it looks like that the noise is being randomized with it, but it actually isn't. It is actually just a baked texture that acts as the ink noise. So yeah, that's how that works. It is. It's not a directly Unity thing. I did have to write a shader for it, but it's not that complicated a shader in the end. Yeah, feel free to ask those kinds of questions. Any dumb question, whatever, feel free to ask it. Okay, so I think that works for a two-liner. Is that good enough on a full screen? Oh yeah, clearly. I mean, I can make the area bigger as well, so let me play around with the margin-y stuff. Let's go 1515, because I can get it closer to those lines, which means I can get more vertical height out of it. And in fact, if I make these lines closer together, I can get the text even bigger still. Yeah, so that looks good. That looks good. And this layout will still technically work for a... Yeah, it looks all right for a short name. If I just do Gatwick, fits kind of okay for Gatwick. London Gatwick looks better. Tokyo Narita. Yeah. Though that probably will just work better on the single liner effect. Haneda, it's the same thing. Haneda on its own. Haneda on its own. If I can type it correctly, that just fits without getting in the way of the triangle. That's not bad at all, actually. Right. So that's a two-liner. Now a multi-liner. Do I need a multi-liner? So let's try Paris Charles de Gaulle, because I know that's a lot of text. Now this doesn't have... right. Okay. I do need to have wrap text on for that, then. Yeah. Problem if I go up to the top of the triangle, I can't make the text. Oh, that's disgusting. Because of the triangular aspect. Sort of the pyramidal nature of the alignments really screws that one. With the circular one, you can sort of cheat it to be a box. And box alignment is easy to solve. But triangular / pyramidal alignment is a bastard. Without it looking terrible. Interesting. Charles de Gaulle fits all right. Looks a bit off center, actually. Why does that look off center? Oh, because it is. Why is that? That's centered. Oh, because it had a space at the beginning, that's why. That'll help. That'll help. Oh yeah, because I deleted Paris but not the space. That makes sense. Okay. We'll leave that one as like that then. With that or that. This one has 3 variations, so it can go the full way. Because the 2 line has a dividing line in it and expects 2 lines to be there. Let's do stamp C, the long one. This is going to be the one that gets screwed up the most, I think. All this detuned guitar is messing with my head. So this is 1 line content. The header and footer can stay as they are. So take 1 line off. 2 line content on. And what we do in that case is we just say, goodbye datebox, we don't need you. Sounds like a simple solution to me. And we make that 0.25. So if you want 2 liner, you do that. And do that. Let's go like 40. That is a very basic stamp that will do the job for that. And then do the lots content so we can get the text to fit even closer together for that. So Paris, Charles de Gaulle. Okay, interesting. I thought it would fit better if I tightened the text further. So you're like that, and then get it closer to the lines themselves, like that. Yeah, that's better. Right, make it wider still. There you go. So if you've got a multi-line one, then you can do that. You can even put airport in, probably. Oh, what was that? Why is... Oh, now it lies to me. There you go. That fits just. Okay. That's all right. Basically just do without the date stamp bit. Yeah, okay. Cool. And then stamp A, the first one I worked on, while I was still messing around with the effect. We've got this is actually already designed as a 2-liner because I actually have 2 separate lines for it. So this is 2-line content. You see, this stamp, is this going to work with 1-liner content? I don't think it is, really. If it is, it'd have to be really short. Like Doha would work on its own, but anything longer, because it's such a square stamp, I think there might be another restriction we have to put in. Well, we'll see. Let's try a 1-liner content. So that becomes that, which is going to be that. I need to mess with those values a bit. Actually, do that now while I'm thinking about it. 1-line content is lines. 2-line content is lines. And then lots content. This one's actually all just going to be the same, isn't it? Okay. Stamp C. One-line content is that. 2-line content is that. And lots is that. Oh, okay then. It is a non-issue in the end, because there's only this one that has the 2 text elements separate. That's right, that's why it was specifically done like that. So if I said Doha as the example on this one, code box is set at 0.25, like that then. So you can do that. So obviously that works fine. That looks alright if you had Doha on its own. If you had anything longer, let's try Gatwick. What does that look like? Yeah. That stamp just looks like it's missing a lot of content when it has anything longer than that. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Can I mess around with the design a bit to make it cheat it? Maybe. Actually, what? I haven't used any of this yet, so maybe I could use more of that. That's closer. That is closer to being better by doing that. It is closer. That works brilliantly for a simple short name like that. Like if you're doing 3-letter airport codes, super. It's not that bad for Glasgow, honestly. It's not that bad. I'm just being very picky on the design. I think that's more the problem. I'm just being picky. Let's think of... Yeah, Orlando looks alright. Yeah, Orlando looks alright. I'm not that hard done by that. Okay. Let me just put that on. Next we did that. I have to do something like that. Well, that fits nicely for Miami. Oh, that's really nice for Miami, actually. Maybe the character's a bit too tight, but I can respace them a little. It looks alright, okay. Okay, and then do the reverse of that for the many line content. Or lots content. That's what we're calling it. And we'll use Paris Charles de Gaulle. Okay, I suppose. Gobernador André Franco Montoro Internacional. Oh my god, that's a name, isn't it? I don't... Oh, what is that one on the... I could just copy that and make it uppercase. That's... Yeah. Sure, we'll just do that for now. That, and make it uppercase. Oh, this font doesn't have that character, whatever reason. That kind of is just fits. It's readable at a slightly more stream resolution. Yeah, if that E wasn't messing with stuff, it probably would fit better. It's not terrible. It would pass muster, I would say. Long name is very long and additionally, still very long. Like, you can read that in that box. That's not bad, actually. The spacing's a bit weird. Maybe I would do... Oh, no. Oh, that just looked weird. Oh, don't know how I feel about that. I'll just leave it on normal center, I think. But yeah, okay. I think that's a first pass for getting the system working. We have enough variation to make it work, I'd say. Yeah, I think there's enough variation to make it work. That there is a lines text. Yeah, okay. So then, let me reset these. So we can then... Oh, no, not remove. Reset. And reset that. And what we can do then is set about trying some code out, I think. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll start setting about some code. So, Visual Studio time. So passport stamp will now have a game object. Oh, this coffee's getting cold. Yeah, this coffee's gone very cold. Let's try and... Oh well. One line display. 2-line display and lots display. That's kind of what we called them. It's just like, I've just gotten focused in doing this thing and now I've forgotten that I got a hot drink earlier. Yeah. Is what it is. I don't need Cerenics right now, actually. We'll leave it for there. The thing is, Colin, I've only really just gotten into having hot drinks in the evening after getting a Tasmo machine. It's in this room. It's actually behind the wheel. And yeah, like having like a nice hot chocolate in the evening. It's actually very nice. I've only really, only recently gotten into doing having hot drinks in the evening. I tend not to. I tend to have like Pepsis and colas and things like that all the time. I'm getting older. I'm going, I want more comforting kind of drinks rather than just straight up sugar. I mean, still sugar in those drinks, but a nice, good hot chocolate is quite nice, and there's a nice set of hot chocolates that they do with the Tasmo system. So might not necessarily be the most cost-effective way of getting a hot chocolate, nor maybe the best hot chocolate out there, but it's certainly a good happy medium. It's very easy to prepare. You put the pod in, make sure you've got enough water, press go, and away you're off. USB desk fridge. USB desk fridge. Oh goodness me! Don't have the space for that, David. I'd have to give up. I'd have to give up one of my monitors in order to have space for that. I don't know if we can do that. I need my 3 monitors for stream. Though I did consider at one point possibly getting ultra wide to replace 2 of them. So I'd only have 2 monitors, but one of them would be basically the same width as 2 monitors I already have. So that's something I've considered. Yeah, I think Tip's got the velvetizer, and has made good comments about those. So yeah, maybe further purchases unnecessary if I want more comfort drinks like that. But I'm happy with my simple hot chocolates and some decaf coffees and things like that. Anyway, I was about to get into stamp duties. That's how this works, right? It's current display. We'll have that. So he wants to. Actually, no. We just need it in here. If the current display is already active, then go to active false, which is hiding it. Then we need to determine the correct display, and then if that we've desired is that, then we can go current display set active true, and we also need to do for each of the passport stamp texts, text in texts, because we need to let it know what the question is, so it knows what text to put in. So determine the correct display. If if that is 1. Oh, I feel like that might have to be a switch. Is it a switch? I think it's more a switch. Switch that. Oh, actually, you know what? We might be breaking out the big guns here. Slightly newer C# code. Current display equals. Yeah, are we going to do that? I think we're going to do that. Question, got that. Switch. You might be thinking, what the hell are you on about? One line display. Two line display. Otherwise, lots display. Now, I probably could have done. Oh, actually, is it not happy with that? Oh, dot length. That might help. I probably could do that just as an array. But if you do it as an array, it then starts to lose some semantic meaning. Whereas that is more. This makes more sense to me in my head. And yeah, I've only just gotten into using this style of switch, mainly because the version of Unity that I use for work, Unity 2020, it doesn't allow fancy C#, 8. I think this is 8, C# 8. Yeah, it doesn't allow C# 8 code, so you can't do fancy stuff like this. You have to do it the old switch. Like let me write what it used to be, like that. Case 1, case 2, default. You have to do it like this. Current display equals one line display, and current display equals. Do you see where I'm going with this? And then current display. Oops. Current display is lots display. So this and that are the same thing. But as you see here, this one, you've actually got 3 different assignments. You've got to make sure that you have that in there that you're assigning to. This is actually only one assignment. You're just doing a search to get you 3 different things, and it's doing one assignment. So yeah, if you've got just some variable that you want to return back, which is switchable, which makes sense in this kind of style, then this kind of switch statement makes a lot more sense. It looks weird. Especially looks weird having the word switch just on its own there on the right-hand side, when normally it's on the left-hand side of everything and the other stuff is in a bracket. But once you get your head out of that, then it's very nice and very compact. Oh, and this underscore just means anything else that doesn't match before it, which is the same as saying defaults before. Though, with this, you also have the ability to do other fancy things with like switch expressions, like that if you do it as a if you had this as some sort of object, you can do a cast as type check, and then it will return that directly into that switch block. I haven't yet really just used that a lot, but it is a thing that exists. Where is that? It's nice. So, yeah, current display is that. That is independent of all this, actually. But I want it while it's off, I think. Because then when it does activate, it will then rebuild the strings accordingly. Yes, okay. I mean, that's absolutely fine, Colin. And if you're into the old syntax, then there's no qualms with doing that. I'm just going. This is about half, 2/3 of the number of lines, and means I'm only writing one assignment rather than 3 assignments, which is copy paste. Like, if I have to then extend this further to more rules, then you see where it gets a bit of a problematic thing where you're having to copy paste like 3 lines when this is only just returning only one line for one thing. Yeah, it's not that different, but it's different enough to go, I don't like how this reads, like with the word switch on the end like that. It's kind of like with Python's way of doing ternaries, like inline ternaries. It feels batshit crazy to me, but it makes sense if you use it enough times. It makes total sense. It just looks weird, but yeah, you get used to it eventually. Sounds somewhere between Talos Principle and Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I know what you mean. That was Paolo Vivaldi, apparently. Paolo Vivaldi. Now we're on to the scam train. Excuse me, Pretzel. What are you on about? This isn't a scam train. We'll leave the music on. So, if it's 1 line, it's that. If it's 2 lines, it's that. If it's lots, it's that. Now, I did have the extra condition. Yeah. So, if it's 1 and... but only some of them have that extra condition, don't they? That's a problem. Yeah. 1 and short on that short stamp. That has the extra condition that you might want to change it. But then that's just going to be the same even if it's long. It's going to have the same text problem. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's more a case of only choose this design if you have small I'm hoping that single words aren't ridiculously long. So that you just completely retire this stamp style or make this stamp style wider. You just go, boop, there you go. I mean, that's a way of fixing it, isn't it? That is potentially a way of fixing it. Just make it wider. If it's a longer text thing, make it wider. Anyway. Don't go over-engineering the solution just yet, Ashley. Don't go pre-optimizing. That looks like it's got enough to set up a stamp with the individual text elements. I need to configure the objects so I can turn them on and off appropriately. That has that. Oh yeah, I did it again there as well, and I'm doing this parameter string thing. Right, okay. So based on that then, stamp A has 1 line, 2 line, and lots line. Stamp B has 1 line, 2 line, lots line. Stamp C is 1 line, 2 line, lots line. And stamp D, it only has 2. But the lots display reuses the 2 lines, so you can assign that there again. You can cheat it that way. Okay, cool. Now let's prefab these. In which case we need to go boop boop, send to them. Makes life easier in the prefab then. Stamps, but it's in the mini games, so I need to put it there. Stamp A, B, C, and D. Then we need to create some markers for where stamps can go. And there are 5 locations in general. Now, do we want to have 2 different pages so that they're not always in the same 5 locations every time? Maybe, but we can figure that out after the fact. Call it a stamp page. So if I want to do a different variation, I can just make a copy of this. Okay, now, how did they align themselves on that first one that I saw? Like that. So 2 on the left page, 3 on the right page. Okay. Seems reasonable. Actually, looking at that, the more square-shaped one is actually a bit bigger than I have designed it, I think. Is it? Oh, it's slightly bigger, yeah. So we might be able to get away with that being a bit bigger. For now, let's do an internet. That's a meme. Do that and do that, just so I can position it. The rotation I can definitely just auto randomize. That doesn't have to be pre-coded. B. Good time zones, good time zones. How you doing, Poker? Step C. Try and get it about there-ish. Go for the big stamp in that, or wide stamp there. Yeah, that's fine. But you know what? You can go not that one. That one. Go slightly higher because we're going to get 3 on this page. Put a stamp C in there. Like that. And let's do another stamp. And B in this last one. Because the thing is that on the show that the stamps do sometimes overlap each other, but so long it is the non-critical information that overlaps itself. That's basically what I need to worry about. I'll probably make that a bit less overlappy. And do a bit of like that there. Okay. That's alright. That should still fit all of the designs that I have right now. The max height I've got is 240. Max width I've got is 400. So yeah, that the triangle one is the maximum extents that I've got. Oh no, not height-wise though. Height-wise 240. Should probably fit okay. I think it'll be okay. Yeah, that should be okay. So that gets me 5 positions on a page that you can't see. Yep, cool. So what we need to do then is make a thing called passport page. God, I can't type. Stamp roots. Stamp roots equals get it's going to be transform dot it's going to be the same as doing enumerable. Oh god, enumerable, come on, using system length, thank you, dot range 0 to that dot select I transform get child I dot to array. So that'll set up all my stamps, or stamp roots should I say. Add stamp passport stamp prefab. So we want to pick a random stamp location we haven't taken yet. So we want to do where x dot child count is 0, random pick. Then you can do stamp then you do instantiate stamp prefab into stamp root that passport stamp new stamp that set up stamp with the question, and we also need to get it to rotate. So local new stamp dot transform dot local rotation equals maximum rotation equals, let's go with 20 degrees. Quaternion Euler 0 0 random dot range, no, random dot range on its own please, thank you, minus maximum to maximum. I'll set the stamp up in a certain local rotation. Clear page for each transform stamp root in stamp roots. Well, actually, you know what I can do? Stamp roots dot select many x dot. Oh, you can't do it like that, can you? Pooh. Let's do it like this then. Stamp root dot child count. You know what? I'll be overly protective. While that, destroy stamp root dot get child 0 dot game object, and that gives me the option to clear the page whenever I need to as well. Okay. So the passport itself. Current page. Now we need a way to say if the page is empty or full. Sorry, that's the actual thing, is full. Is page full, return stamp roots all x dot child count greater than 0. They all have some children and the page is full. So now you can have that condition. So what I need to do now is have a look at one of the older classes, see what the best way will be to write this in line with everything else. Where do I want to write the code for what I need to do? To write it at the bottom, at the top. Let me have a look. Where's my empty minigame class? Yeah, I want that structure anyway. For that, passport I forgot. Oh, mark step correct was higher than idle was. It was right, it was. Current page. Can you see the text all right on stream? Normally have my text at this size, but I know that's not particularly readable on stream. I put that stuff here, don't I? Privates that I need at the top before I get... Yeah, that's how I do it. Clear page. Current page is not null. Current page dot clear page. And then can also do that. Select pay. What I'm going to do is just call a method called add stamp, I think. If current page is null, then current page. Oh yeah, I can just. Yeah, okay. Oh, I should probably do that .game object set active files as well, just to be sure, I suppose. Add stamp. If the current page is null, then current page is random pick. Game object set active true. That guarantees me have a page to work with. If current page dot is page full. Okay. Do I want to do condition not? Because we've got to do then clear page and pick a new page. I'll do that. Then that does. You can get into recursive weirdness if I don't define the thing properly, though. Better way of doing this. Make a new method called new page. That's a better way of describing it. That's what this functionality is, a new page. So it does clear page, and then that, yeah. Wait. It's that. In which case, do I need to do that as a return? No. Which then becomes that, or that. New page. And then current page, add stamp. Stamp prefabs is that. Private queue. Passport stamp. Read only. Stamp queue. It's that. Wait. Thank you. If stamp. If stamp queue. Count is 0. Then stamp queue dot enqueue. Oh yeah, you can't enqueue an entire set. You have to enqueue individually. For each in stamp prefabs dot shuffle. Whoa, hello. Do that. Stamp QDQ. Question. And then you can add a stamp, and if it needs to make a new page, it can. It then creates it and all stuff. Oh, thank you, David. Appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Didn't have to do that, but appreciate the extra data to work with. Yeah, we can plug some of those in later. Add stamp will do all of that. Okay, cool. Mark step correct. We're not implementing for passports because it's just one step per correct. Idle. Right. What I need to do is have a look at how I do it with these guys. Excuse me. Idle is going to I suppose clear page, what it needs to do, and the actual that as well. Oh, and I also need the rounded frame animator answer frame as well. So it needs to be an idle that deactivate canvas group that. These are certainly noises. So show question. Oh, show question is from idle, so it's always going to be pass. So we want to do add stamp. Where? New question. But yeah, show question. This is where I have the different methods, the different flows throughout. So show question is used when it's going from hidden or idle to showing a question. So all I need to do in this case then for show question is add stamp and also show the canvas group. So then it's a do tween. I've got tweening cool. To do tween.to. I wish this had a shortcut for this, but it doesn't, so I have to keep writing it every time. To that, across that, and what it does is it just fades in the canvas group from invisible 0 to 1 essentially. And what it actually also does is it actually does scale up. So do I want to do that as a... Yeah, I'll do that as a sequence then. Sequence equals do tween sequence. We'll do it like that instead. Play. Then that needs to do sequence dot insert at that time that. And also insert at that time passport canvas can't type dot transform dot do local just do scale even to 1.0f 0.5f and do dot transform dot local scale equals vector 3 1 times that. So now that will scale it up. Actually, you know what, do it's just yield break. Yeah, it's just a yield break. Make sure that's also doing that again. So then reveal answer. All I need to do for that is answer frame dot activate and answer frame change state to rounded frame activator dot show. Switch question from answer means we then need to do answer frame rounded frame animator state hide. Yield return new wait for seconds 0. However long we need to wait for a thing. Now I suppose changing pages in their version does do a hide of the passport itself and reveal on the next one. So I might need to include that in this flow, but we'll figure that out if we need to. So I have to switch question from answer, hide that. Then we just need to do add stamp new question. That is that supposed to be a trumpet? I suppose that's supposed to be a trumpet. I don't know how I feel about that sound. It feels really weird. Okay. Switch question from answer, hide the answer frame for a second, then add stamp. Yeah, okay. Switch question from question should just be add stamp. So if you go from one question to another, all you're doing is adding a stamp. In which case we should probably you should yield return add stamp and make that be a coroutine like thing. That way then. Yeah, that way then. Oh, this can then handle the... This should then be responsible for that. Yeah. That's better. This is then more responsible for the showing or hiding of that. As necessary. Yeah, that's better. So add stamp. If current page is not null, then we need to hide it. So we run a sequence for that. Like that. It's called the hide sequence. Which is that to that, and that to that. New page. And then if it's a new page, then you run the show sequence. Wow. Fade up to 1 and that. Yeah, okay. So you do the new page, it then does that. Not quite right. Yeah, it's not quite right because if it's a new page, the stamp goes in immediately as the page comes back. I think it does anyway. Certainly does on the first reveal. What does it do on the second reveal? Have a look. Yeah, on the second reveal it does the same. Okay. So I need to know what the stamp is beforehand. If it's doing that. Yeah. Basically, I do need a copy past a line, which is irritating to do a copy past a line, but it's because there's sequencing involved. This is essentially saying if the current page is... yeah, feels a bit clunky, but I think that's all right. I like this music, actually. This is very interesting music. Reveal answer just does that. Hide from answer needs to run the hide sequence, essentially. Yeah, what? Let me write these as separate coroutines. Hang on. Let's try that again, actually. There we go. So, hide is that. And show is that. Ah! Sure. Answer frame, that change state to that. That. Is that it? Is that it? I always find myself wondering, have I just done it or not with these mini games? Sometimes they just, like, I do it like in 20 minutes and it goes, is that it? Have I really just done it? I think that's it. I think that's the logic of how the mini game will go, so long as I've defined everything correctly. So let's start marking some stuff off then. Oh, hang on. What have I done? All right. Okay. So you put a canvas group on this so that I can fade it. Answer needs to be off by default. Canvas group is that. This is now a passport page, isn't it? That's what we said we wanted that to be. So then that is that. And then we add our stamp prefabs to that. We add our animator. And that, as they say, folks, is that. That is assigned everything correctly. That has your 5 stamp routes defined. I think that's it. I do need to create the data. So what I'm going to do, thank you, David, for the extra burner data. What I'm going to do is make me a new one of these. Minigame question bank. And we'll call this Passport. That's the name of the minigame we're using. We'll call the round name Globetrotter as an example. And this is why I love Odin, Serenix, Odin Inspector, because it allows me to do magical things like this. Because the way that this deals with hooking up the structure of the questions for each minigame, and also the structure of how the reader works, is simply divine. This has only been possible as of Unity 2019.3, and also because of Odin Inspector making it so easy to just create objects of a particular type or range of types, that you can do magical things such as this, where I say I want a passport question. And what that means is, when I then run the minigame, it will inspect that type of that question and go, find me the minigame that runs those kinds of questions. And it'll go, oh yeah, I can find the passport minigame for you. And it just does it. It just does it. I don't have to do any crazy shit like having to assign into this the prefab that I need to run in the system. It just infers it all. Yes, I'm doing some find object by type stuff, but I only do that big search once, and it's only a limited search. I could just put this in an array and narrow the search parameters massively. But being able to just create a mini game bank of one type, the actual type itself is just minigame question bank, but chuck in any kind of question type means I don't have to do any stupid arsery by having a different serializable type as a scriptable object type for every single minigame that I want. This just does all the extra magic in between. It looks hideous as hell, like a minigame is like this, but actually it's like this. And this is only because certain minigames need a persistent structure across all of the questions, I-test being one of them. Minigames actually of three generic types with these type constraints. It's just, and all of this here. And then this is so that you can do Google Sheets reading nice and easy as well. But with all of that code leverage in there, it makes life so much easier with writing minigames. Like here, passport. It's 145 lines long at the moment. And I think that's probably going to be correct. So let me do a test. Let's do Schiphol and extra line airport. Answer Amsterdam. Now I've just realised something, and I will want to do this. What? I want to do that. I want to force it all to be uppercase on the stamps. I could have set the text themselves to be force uppercase, but I probably should have just done that. But there you go. This is more explicit to me. So I can just type it like that, and it will style it as block capitals. Okay, I'm not vibing with that music. We're changing track. So we've got Schiphol Airport, which is Amsterdam. Let me make another passport question. Let's go with single line Dhaka, which is Bangladesh. Then duplicate. Then we'll go with Mozart. Oh, hello. Mozart Airport. That one there is Austria. Then we'll do Adolfo Suarez Airport, which is Spain. And then we'll just do simple text JFK, which that will be United States for. Let's do we have another single name one, but not short character? Let's do Typing is hard, Ashley. Beijing, capital. China. And let's put one more in. Let's put in... Oh, that's one we need to test. Guadalajara, actually, that's a good test. Because that's a single word, but long. Guadalajara. Mexico. Is that typed correctly? Guadalajara. Yes, that's correct. Oh, did I? Is that? You're right. Actually, you're right. You're right. It should say Netherlands, shouldn't it? Yeah, Schiphol Airport is of Amsterdam, but is actually in the Netherlands. You're right. It should be naming the country, not the city. In the cases that I've seen on passport. Yes. Good catch, Colin. Good catch. Oh yeah, we could put Cork in as well. Let me do that then. That is a short name. Cork. Republic of Ireland. Let's see how that goes with that set of questions then. So, based on that then, we turn the object off. Shall we find out what happens when we try and run that minigame? Let's see what happens. Because I have a debug option on each of those question packs, these scriptural objects, which will make itself apparent when we're in play mode, that we can run the test questions just like that. So I hit that button and it should find the minigame, which is the passport minigame, fire it off as round 1 Globetrotter with a minute on the clock, and then it should start peeling off these questions in order. So we'll start off with Dhaka, Bangladesh, and continue on. Shall we see what happens? It's not going to have the sound. That's something I've just realised. I'm missing the sound. So we will need 2 lines of code adding in to do that. Yeah, we'll have 2 lines of code. No, sorry. Maybe 3 if I want to have variations on that sound. But yeah, 2 or 3 lines, depending on how frisky I want to be, to get the sound in of the stamping. But yeah, let's see. Right, let's go for it. That's promising. That's promising. That's very promising. Let me do gameplay button. Go to live. Let's pass it. Move another one. There's Mozart Airport. Gives me the expected response of Austria. Yeah. Let's mark that one correct. Ah! Needs to put the text in. Needs to put the text in. Pass that one. Ooh! That one didn't happen though, did it? What happened there? Oh, we've got a bug. Yeah, that's why we run these things. Index was outside the bounds of the array. Ooh, fancy. Why was that fancy? Because it said it wanted to do 2-liner when there's only 1 line. What? Are you crazy? Well, it did the... yes, it did that one. Interesting. That is location C, I think. Which one did it try and switch on then? Which one did it try to switch on? And yeah, Stamp did also escape the edge, which was what I was worried about. So I may have to move that that anchoring slightly. Though if it rotated less, it probably would have been all right. Ooh. So what did it decide on then? Text out of text. What did it decide on? It's gone to line 32, so presuming it thought it was a 2-liner. Oh no, it's... no. No, I'm an idiot. No, that's actually correct. What this is doing is it's running the text... Okay, it's running the text on everything, even if it's never going to show. Right, okay. I see the problem now. It's greater than 1, that, otherwise that. That will fix that issue. We need to fix the positioning issue, so switch that back on. Get the C, that needs to come down slightly, which means we'll probably move D down a little and E down a little more. There we go. That's about as much as I dare move them. Switch that back off again. And that was... I need to put the text in, that's right. I need to put that one line in to fix the text. So passport in show answer. Or reveal answer. You need to do answer frame dot text text equals question dot answer. There you go. That fixes that. That fixes that problem. And shall we do the stamps? Let's do the stamp sounds. Go on then. Let's do the stamp sounds. Now, do we want to use the one from Redacted, or do we want to just use a different sound? We'll use the Redacted sound for now, because I have that readily available. I might want a slightly more subtle sound instead. Go on, Windows, whenever you're ready. Game, sounds, suffix, rubber stamp. Yeah, that one. That sound is what we want. So we'll go over to 5 minutes. Assets, game, sounds. Oops, try again. Extras. Windows, please, thank you. SFX. Rubberstamp.wav. And then we just put it on the stamps themselves. If I'm just going to do one variation of sound for now, I'm just going to go on here, audio source, play on awake, to the SFX channel, stamp. There you go. Copy, save, paste. I said paste, or at least I thought it did. Paste component is new, save. B. Paste component is new, save. Paste component is new, save. Now it'll make the sound when it launches it. So I didn't need to write any code for that. Pause. Let's get the music going. Or minigame going again. Data, minigames, passport, passport control, test run. 5. Passport didn't fade in then, did it? The passport didn't fade in then, did it? It's supposed to have faded in. That's missing. Should have been done by idle. Let me have a look at the moment. Oh, no. I guess because of the wonderful things he does. That needs to be like that. And do I really have to do that though? No, I can write it in the code side of things. In show page, do that dot from that dot from that dot from that, just to make it abundantly clear where we're interpolating to and from. In fact, we'll make that change the easing on this. I just realised as well. Ease in quadratic and set ease out quadratic. Yeah, see how that goes. Hopefully that's better. Hopefully that's better. Go back to the minigame. Passport. Test it. Oh, it showed and then... it showed and then did that. That was bloody irritating. Pass. Correct. Shows the text. Yeah, okay. Pass it. Yeah, okay. That's acceptable. And then... Do you want to show another page? Oh, shit. We're actually stuck. Oh, man. Did I really get myself into an infinite loop? Did I really get myself stuck into an infinite loop there? Oh, fun. What happened there then? Where are we? Come on, Cool Stack, tell me. Where are we? As his music plays in the background. Where are we then? Not there, not there. Where are we? Ha! I actually don't know where we are. Ooh. That's interesting. So as we went over the edge of the... Huh! Yeah, I don't know where we are, but we're definitely stuck. Oh, nice. That's why you don't code live, folks. That's why you don't code live. Unity editors killed that. Had a lot of memory then. It had 9 gigs of memory, which is fun. Authentic feeling, yeah, something like that. Oh, I'm very curious now. How has that managed to do that? Wait for completion. I do also want to make it fix the bloody fading thing. It could just be that I have it by default in the thing alpha set to 0. I can easily do that. That's an easy fix around. Would rather have... Oh yeah, that's why I have some of the others do the same thing because of that. Yeah. It is a known issue. Makes life complicated when you're trying to design things, but yeah, it's a known issue. Come on, Unity. Come on, Unity, do your thing. How did we get stuck, though? How did we get stuck? So it hid the page. Did successfully do that. It hid the page. Do between two, that, to that. Oh, hang on. To that, over that, from that. Yes, correct. Insert the transform do scale from that to that. Yeah. Huh. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing where the problem is yet. Wait for completion. Unless for some reason these never complete. I guess that could be it. Does the sequence ever end? Well, let's play devil's advocate on that one then and do new wait 4 seconds, because I know it takes half a second to do this sequence. I thought I was being clever, but maybe I shouldn't have been clever. Wait 4 seconds. Come on, Unity. You're taking a long time to open. Hello? Come on. Initial asset database refresh. That's scary. Stream's okay, isn't it, folks? Yeah, it looks alright. My disk saying, well, not entirely a great amount of disk space left. Hello, Unity, would you like to open, please? Could you open, please, Unity? What did that just flash then? What did that just flash then? I saw it say something and it just disappeared. What are you doing? Shouldn't take this long. Shouldn't take this long to run. What's going on? Not even using that much memory. Visual Studio's using it quite a bit though. Interesting, isn't it? Let me kill Visual Studio then. Maybe that makes it happier. Okay. Now we're into unknown territory. What's it doing? If the initial asset database refresh is stuck in Unity, you can try the following solutions. Oh, good God, no. Pretty unfeasible to wait up to 5 minutes in between code changes. Oh my God, no. What is happening then? Restart Unity just fixes the problem most of the time. If restart Unity doesn't work, go to assets, re-import all. Well, I can't do that if I can't get to that point, which is fun. Visual Studio apparently is to blame. Oh, I don't know if I trust that. I would basically say it's more Unity's to blame. Find Unity Hub. Let me close Unity Hub. Make sure all the Unity stuff is closed. And then run Unity Hub again. Yeah. 5 minutes. This is really why you don't dare live on stream. Because things like this happen, which I've never seen before. I've never seen it do this before. I mean, yeah, it does take a while to load, but not this long. Well, this could be a slightly truncated stream, folks. What on earth is going on? I mean, it all just happened as soon as I got that weird infinite run thing. I'm not seeing anything. Ooh, Windows, hello. It took a while to just sort yourself out. Anything on Windows side of things that's halting proceedings? I mean, OBS Studio is using quite a bit of GPU, but it does. It's streaming. Of course, it's going to do that. Memory-wise, Edge is doing a lot, but again, that's reasonable. We've got 8 processes for Unity Editor. 8 processes? Why do we have 8 processes for Unity Editor? Shouldn't need that many, right? No? Play some music. Let me just try opening up another project using a different version of Unity. Let's try Relativity. See if that opens up. See if Relativity opens. Now we're just opening up all the things. Hello. I might do a PC restart at this rate. Nope, relativity opens. Yeah, relativity opens. There you go. Doesn't look like much, but it is there. Honest gov. Yep, there it is. So relativity opens. So why do you not open 5 minutes to fortune? Alright. I'll play devil's advocate on this one then. Let's see what happens then if I clear out the library folder. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Clear out the library folder, so it's going to rebuild the assets. That shouldn't be much. Okay. Assets are still there. Good. And there's still a lot of stuff in there. Good. Right. We'll even clear out the Visual Studio project itself so that it can't be responsible anymore. We'll even get rid of the OBJ folder. Yeah, we'll get rid of the OBJ folder as well. And let's open it up and see what it does with that. See what it does with a completely clear mind. It is going to do stuff with the assets. And yes, it's going to do the initial asset database refresh. That's for certain. Because it has to now. But does it actually get any further now? If it doesn't, then I'm going to do a PC restart and see what it says after that. Because this is quite bizarre. So I really didn't expect that halt. Really didn't expect that halt. That was very weird. It's taken a while. I can see some stuff in there. I can see some stuff in the library folder populating itself. What does task manager say? It's not doing anything. It's not doing anything on the CPU at all. It's not doing anything on the disk at all. What's it doing? Nothing. It's literally doing nothing. Just sitting there. It's not even trying to do anything. Okay, I will do a PC restart then. And we'll see where we are after that. I guess. Because this is very weird indeed. So give me a couple of minutes while PC restarts, and we'll see where we are after that, I guess. See you in a bit.